Gilgeous Alexander scored 26 points as the Oklahoma City Thunder survived an early onslaught to score a 123-108 victory over the San Antonio Spurs and take a 2-1 lead in their NBA Western Conference Finals series. Two-time NBA Most Valuable Player Gilgeous Alexander led another dominant all-around offensive performance on Friday by the reigning NBA champions, who saw four members of their bench finish in double figures to set up the precious road win.
Pakistan's powerful army chief, Field Marshal Asim Munir, arrived in Tehran on Friday as diplomatic efforts to broker a peace agreement between Iran and the United States intensified. Pakistani officials are reportedly playing a growing mediation role as regional powers push to prevent a wider conflict. But Iranian officials have tempered expectations for a quick breakthrough. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson said differences in the mediated talks between Tehran and Washington remain deep and significant, signalling that major obstacles still stand in the way of a formal agreement.
The world's best football players will travel to North America this summer for the most anticipated sporting event of the year, the FIFA World Cup 2026. While the 48-team tournament will feature young prodigies and veterans alike, some stars will not be at the tournament, having missed out due to injuries or because their nations failed to qualify. A gas explosion at a coal mine in China has killed at least 90 people. State media Xinhua said 247 workers had been on duty underground when the blast ripped through the Liu Shenyu mine in Qinyuan County, Shanxi province on Friday.
One of Berlin's rising star early-stage startups, PKI, just crossed $10 million in annualized revenue, according to internal dashboard data seen and verified by TechCrunch. PKI raised its $21 million Series A 6 months ago. While CEO Marius Miners wouldn't disclose its valuation to me at that time, only revealing that it was above $100 million, he did say the startup had grown its revenue to more than $4 million in the 10 months since its launch.
Rawalpindi Waste Management Company has finalized an extensive Eid al-Adha cleanliness plan, deploying 6,340 workers and 1,066 vehicles to collect more than 11,000 tons of waste across Rawalpindi during the three-day holiday from May 27 to May 29. Speaking at a press conference, RWMC Managing Director Rana Sajid said the operation will run 24 hours a day in all 164 union councils and will be monitored live through CCTV cameras to ensure efficient waste disposal.
Spotify has introduced Personal Podcast, a new AI-powered feature that lets users create private audio episodes inside the Spotify app. The feature allows users to enter a text prompt describing the kind of podcast they want. Spotify will then generate a personalized episode based on that input, along with the user's interests and listening habits. Spotify said the feature draws on world knowledge and the user's Spotify taste profile to create private audio.
The Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government has announced 4 public holidays for Eid al-Adha, during which government offices, educational institutions and other public departments across the province will remain closed. According to a notification issued by the Chief Secretary of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the holidays will be observed from Tuesday, May 26 to Friday, May 29.
The Lahore High Court has revised its previously announced Eid al-Adha holidays schedule for courts across Punjab, adding an extra holiday to the earlier notification. According to a notification issued by the court on May 21, Eid al-Adha holidays will now be observed from May 26 to May 28, instead of the previously announced schedule of May 27 and May.
Corporate drama has lit up trading WhatsApp groups as investors with an appetite for the Satori scripts watch TRG. The resource group's founder, the tech unicorn Zia Chishti, just won a battle to regain company control in court in Pakistan. Here is a simplified version of the long arc of this story.
gas explosion at a coal mine in northern China has killed at least 90 people, state media reported on Saturday, in one of the country's biggest industrial disasters of recent years. The blast occurred at 7:29 p.m. on Friday at the Liushenyu coal mine in Shanxi province, according to state news agency Xinhua. 3 months after attacking Iran, US President Donald Trump faces a bigger question. Is he losing the war? With Iran's grip on the Strait of Hormuz, its resistance to nuclear concessions, and its government largely intact, doubts are growing that Trump can translate the US military's tactical successes into an outcome he can frame convincingly as a geopolitical win.
At least 82 people have been killed in a coal mine blast in northern China, with 9 people still missing, the country's state media has reported. Reporters learned from the scene of the gas explosion at the Liushenyu coal mine of the Tongzhou Group in Shanxi province that the accident has resulted in 82 deaths, state news agency Xinhua said.
Khan Yunis, Gaza Strip. In a corridor inside Nasser Hospital, Iman Abu James sits beside her 6-year-old son, Yasser, as she watches his frail body, exhausted by illness, and tries to make sense of what has happened to him. Yasser's skin is covered in angry rashes and burn-like wounds that doctors cannot explain. His body is frail from hunger.
A metro bus caught fire on 6th Road on Saturday while travelling from Islamabad, triggering panic among passengers and forcing authorities to suspend metro bus operations temporarily. According to rescue officials, the fire erupted suddenly while the bus was on the metro track at 6th Road. Passengers reportedly broke the vehicle's windows to escape before rescue teams arrived at the scene.
The DAD has announced applications for its Schmidt Master Scholarships for Public Policy and Good Governance, PPGG, offering fully funded opportunities for international students aiming to pursue master's degrees. The programme targets graduates in social, public graduates in social and public sciences, law, economics, public policy and public administration, who are committed to strengthening democratic governance and development in their home countries. Federal Investigation Agency has sealed 2 illegal factories involved in the production of counterfeit dental products and veterinary medicines during separate raids conducted in Islamabad and Rawalpindi over the past 48 hours. The operations were carried out by the FIA's Anti-Corruption Circle on the directives of Mohsin Naqvi and FIA Director General Dr. Usman Anwar under the supervision of FIA Islamabad Zone Director Syed Shahzad Nadeem Bukhari.
US Citizenship and Immigration Services has announced a major policy shift that will require most foreign nationals seeking permanent residency in the United States to leave the country and apply for immigrant visas from abroad, significantly restricting the long-standing adjustment of status pathway. Under the new policy memorandum, applicants already living in the US on temporary visas, including students, tourists, and temporary workers, will generally be directed to complete green card processing through American consulates overseen by the United States Department of State.
Rawalpindi. No passenger was hurt after a metro bus caught fire on Saturday morning near the 6th Road stop. According to Rescue 1122, the metro bus was destroyed after it caught fire while passing the bus stop on 6th Road. It said that rescue officials rushed to the scene and brought the fire under control. United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Saturday opened a visit to India that will include talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Looking to renew ties with a usually like-minded partner. A week after Washington's warm summit with China, Rubio, a devout Catholic, began his 4-day For Teresa's charity by visiting the headquarters of Mother Teresa's charity in the eastern city of Kolkata and praying over her tomb.
Johannesburg, South Africa, Human Rights Watch has warned of a new wave of xenophobic attacks in South Africa as anti-immigration groups intensify protests and vigilante-style actions targeting foreign nationals, including Zimbabweans. The warning came in a report released on Tuesday amid rising protests in South African cities, including Johannesburg, Pretoria and Durban.
Islamabad, Pakistan, earlier this month, as Indian television channels and government leaders were celebrating the anniversary of the war against Pakistan in May 2025, one of the most influential ideologues of the political movement that Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads struck a discordant note. In an interview with an Indian news agency, Dattatreya Hosabale, General Secretary of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh (RS), the mothership of the Hindu majoritarian philosophy of Hindutva that guides Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party, said New Delhi should explore dialogue with Pakistan.
SpaceX's Starship spacecraft splashed down into the Indian Ocean on Friday after the company performed a mostly successful test flight of the latest version of its enormous rocket. The voyage was not without a few glitches, but SpaceX employees shown on a live stream roared in delight, following the trial flight that comes as the firm owned by Elon Musk prepares a potentially record initial public offering. A year to go until France chooses its next president, the big question is who can save the election from being a battle of the extremes. For now, and perhaps only for now, the answer is pretty clear. It is President Emmanuel Macron's former Prime Minister, Edouard Philippe.
Russian President Vladimir Putin is running out of time to win his war against Ukraine. Amid a stalemate on the battlefield and growing troubles at home, a European intelligence chief has told CNN in the next 4 or 5 months, Putin may not be able to negotiate from a position of strength anymore. Kaupo Rosin, head of Estonia's Foreign Intelligence Service, said in an interview at the intelligence agency's headquarters in Tallinn. Quezon City, on a highway in the Ilocos Norte province earlier this month, Father Arvin Mangrubang of the Philippine Independent Church slowly drove opposite a dozen or so hulking armoured vehicles and trucks carrying United States soldiers. He felt a pit form in his throat.
Climate debates routinely cite Pakistan's grim paradox. We are among the world's countries most exposed to climate shocks, yet we have contributed little to the emissions that drive them. At recent COPs and other international forums, Pakistan has rightly called out this injustice, as well as the failure of international recognition to translate into financing at the required scale. But it would be equally inexcusable if we failed to recognise the same pattern of injustice within the country. The regions most battered by floods, heat extremes and glacial lake outburst floods are often the least responsible for high emissions lifestyles, excessive energy use, private vehicle dependence and other climate unfriendly consumption patterns.
ASK any banker in the country to name the single largest untapped commercial opportunity on their balance sheet. And the honest answer will not include corporates, nor consumers, not even mortgages. It is the roughly 5 million small and medium enterprises, SMEs, that are ostensibly bankable but sit almost entirely outside the formal credit system today. Ask the same banker why these have not been pursued, and the answer becomes more revealing. A mixture of risk language, regulatory caveats and a quiet acknowledgement that the sector is, in some fundamental way, simply too hard to read.
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Saturday departed on a 4-day visit to China, according to the Prime Minister's office, PMO. In a post on X, the PMO said that Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar, Planning Minister Ahsan Iqbal, Information Minister Atala Tarar, IT Minister Shahza Fatima, and PM's advisor Tariq Fatimi were also accompanying the Premier on the trip.
Elon Musk's SpaceX has launched the biggest ever Starship rocket a day after its highly anticipated test flight was delayed. The uncrewed Starship V3 rocket blasted off from its launch pad in Texas just after 17:30, 22:30 GMT on Friday, days after SpaceX revealed plans for a record-breaking stock market debut.